Ooh. Hi, everybody. Thank goodness, Polly, you knew what I meant instead of what I accidentally put on the list. I came in, nobody was here, and I thought, uh-oh, what's going on here? So I went to look, and sure enough, I had just signed it automatically for the next week. I couldn't believe it. So thank you for figuring out it's right now. Because I was sitting here going, I'm all dressed up. I put makeup on and, I don't like doing that for nothing. So we'll start right into this. Hi, Jody. Oh, I'm so glad you guys realized that I had put the wrong date on the reminder. I am so sorry. After I finish this stream and I tell y'all goodbye, there's a little button that says new stream. And so I click on that and I fill in the information and then I hit a calendar. It brings it up. I'm so used to, I go 1 week from tonight. Well, I did that last Friday night, forgetting that this is Art Quilt Thursday, not Art Quilt Friday. So some people are going to miss us. I'm so sorry. Oh, and as you can see, I'm not sure about the top and bottom row. That light purple was so pretty, but now it looks kind of harsh. So I might kind of swap out some colors, but I think I like this side better. But I continued out the dark red and the purple, trying to have some kind of connection on each side of the inner border. So I'm working with it. And to be honest with you, I'm now losing my patience with it. I want to get it done. So I think I'm going to put on the last border and not worry, get it on the frame, quilt it up really pretty so people won't notice that. I'm not sure, is that Aztec? What is that up there? But I think I'm done with it. So anyway, what I want to show you, it's so good seeing y'all. What I want to show you is I've got my inner and outer borders, which are going to act as the frame for the quilt. I started squaring up my quilt, and I went, ooh, they might want to know how I square up my quilt. So let me stand up here with it. What I do first, I look for an edge that I feel pretty sure is about a bottom edge and a side or a top edge and a side that I think is going to be pretty good about being square, okay? So what I do, I come in here and I kind of line it up. See, it's not perfect yet, but I look at it and this is looking pretty good. So I put my ruler on the bottom along a line on the ruler once I think I have it laying pretty square. And I trim off the bottom. Now, once I do that, then I go to the next side. And what you do is you put the quilt on a line on the ruler, because you just cut this, and then I line it up on the side. I have it lined up down here, and then I line up the ruler so that this is perfectly square. So I have a right angle corner, okay, a 90-degree angle. And I place this here, and then I cut it, okay? So now I know I have one 90-degree angle. So then I'm going to do this side. So I put this on the square. And let me see if I can turn this ruler. This is where I wish I had a bigger ruler, because I'm going to put this on a line, check that the bottom edge is on a line on this ruler. Let me grab another ruler. I want to bump another ruler up here. Okay. Let me do this. I'm going to put two rulers against each other, against the other, one against the other. All right, two rulers together, okay? And make sure they're butted because they should be pretty square. So now I think I've got this side pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to do this one. So I put it on a line along here, and I match it on a line over here. So that way I know I'm square. And then I come find the place that I want to trim this off up here and make sure that I am lined up with yet another line on the ruler. Let me see if I can tilt it down. In fact, let me bring up the light. So everything I do has to be pretty methodical. So I'm going to line this ruler up, the same top and bottom, and then I'm going to come in here, and I stand up to cut this because you're cutting through quite a few layers of fabric. Before I put the borders on, I thought, let's get this square. All right. So now I'm going to do, and I'm left-handed, so I have to set this up so I can cut it left-handed. So I line up this edge, I line up this edge, and I check this edge, because if I'm getting off, this is the time to pay attention. So I'm going to come here, checking all my lines again. I'm going to come here and decide where to cut this off and make sure I line up a line with the ruler underneath. So let me see what line I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use this one. So I have to have it lined up all the way down with a line. The same line has to be lined up all the way down. Okay. I think that looks good. So I'm going to come in here and trim this off. That might move a little bit, but I don't think it's going to move too much to be a real problem. So now I'm going to come back here. Let me cut this. This was hanging over the edge. So what I'm going to do is line the ruler up with the edge of the quilt I've already cut to make sure that when I finish this cut, it's nice and straight. All right, so now if I did it right, let me move my rulers. I'll be right back. I'll be right back so that we can see. I'll hold it up and see if you think it looks straight. Okay. And I even remembered to close my ruler. All right. Push the camera back. All right, here we go. Let's see if you think it looks pretty square. And I think it does. I think it looks pretty good. All right, so now do you kind of see how to do that? When you make your very first cut, you just eyeball it the best you can because none of your edges are where they're supposed to be. So you eyeball it the best you can. And then once you get that side done, you square everything up to that side. So does that help you? Oh, thank you. I still have a few more things to do in it, but you were asking last time. You were asking, how do I do this picture frame thing that I do? So I thought I'd show you a little bit of that right now. And then as soon as, because I want to make sure this one gets finished, then we'll start the new quilt. So I'm very excited about that one. All right, so what I did is I went in my stash. I started looking for fabrics. First, I thought I was going to want a celadon color, which is a little bit of a very pale celery. But when I put it next to the quilt, it was too much of the yellow, like the background, and it just didn't look right. You know, I think something in my head, but until I lay it out. So I auditioned 6 fabrics to do this. All right, here we go. So what I chose is, it's kind of a linen look, tan, and little bits of nubby, a darker brown. I guess that's pretty good. Can you see that? Because what I like to do is kind of pretend, and this really is the border for the quilt, but it's also going to be the binding. So you're wondering, how can it be both? So I come in here, and I'm going to start up here, and I stick this out the width of, whoops, let me go down a little bit. I stick this out the width of the fabric past the end, because I'm going to miter these corners. When I want a really sharp look, then I want to miter that corner. So I come in here. This is 1 3/4 inches, and I have at least 1 3/4 inches. I would round it up to 2 inches off the edge. And then I make sure that I've got it on a reasonably short stitch, 2.0, and I come in here and I zoom down at 1/4 inch. Sometimes you kind of have to help push it through. You've got so many layers of fabric that sometimes you just need to give it a little hand, okay? So here, let me see. So just really quickly, put this on, and it's very important to stick right on your 1/4 inch, because it will show if you let your machine wander, okay? So now when I come down here, I come off at an angle. I go over like that, an angle to the corner, and that will help my, what do you call it? My miter. So I leave 2 inches hanging here, and I trim, and then I go back and I do the next side. Now, let me grab the iron real quickly. Iron this, because I don't want you to have to watch me do the whole thing. So let me iron this, and then I'll show you how I put on the next layer. And let me tell you, if there's one thing that I could tell you to make you a better quilter, and it doesn't matter whether it's art quilting or traditional quilting, keep that iron handy, because an iron truly keeps your project looking sharp and neat. And you can't press it too much. You know, and when I say iron, you know, I mean press. But now I come in, and this is 3 1/4 inches. And I chose a very dark brown. I love this. I want it to look like an antique frame, because this is going to be this is supposed to be the mat board that you would put on regular artwork, and this will be the frame. And so the way to know if you're laying enough over the edge to miter it is just fold down the end like this and finger press, and that will show you. If you line it up here, then you have enough to miter. So I hope you got to see that. But it's just a matter of, if you fold it to have the top edge meet this side edge, it'll show you what the width is, and the width is right there. Okay, where that line comes, that's the width. You don't have to get out a measurer. All right, so now I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to pretend I've got all the narrow tan border on. Now I'm going to come in and sew this one on. And again, just be careful to use that 1/4 inch. Okay, let me show. Okay, so now I'll come down, and stitch this on. Now, when I go to quilt this, I'm going to want to make sure that the batting and the backing goes the whole distance of what is in one term the border. So, because I like to do stitching that reinforces the look of this being a frame. I might do a line here and I might line here. I might do a Greek key or design in the middle to make it look like a carved frame. But this is my favorite way to do all of my art quilts. And I kind of feel like I'm giving them the respect they deserve, because an art quilt is a piece of art. Bottom line, it's a piece of art. So, okay, here I go. All right, and I come down to this end of this. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch. Now, normally I do the lighter, the linen look all the way around and then miter those and then come back in and do this. But, you know, you can even sew the two borders together and put them on as one. I'm just kind of a control freak, so I don't usually do that. So now you go, well, how far do I leave this out, hanging out, because I want to miter it? You just come up near the edge. You swing it over like that. And this farthest point is how much you have to leave. Okay, so there we go. You don't have to measure it. You've got your measurement. Now, let me show you. Okay, let's see. All right, so here are my two edges. And when I do the quilting, I'm going to stitch in the ditch on this linen. Usually I don't do any quilting on this because I want it to look like mat board. And then here is the frame of it. And when I say miter, by the time I have this edge up here on it, then I'll come up and I will draw it and I'll press it and then I'll miter it. So this will be mitered to make it look like as close to a real picture frame as possible. Now, I was also telling you that this is going to act as my binding. Because let's say I've got all of this on, I've quilted it, I've got the batting and the backing, and I've quilted it, and I've put some lines in to make it look like a nice picture frame. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this down somewhere a 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to carefully, you can press it with your fingers or you can press it with an iron. I'm going to press the front, and then whatever I choose for the backing for this quilt, I'm going to press that too. And it's kind of tricky because you got the batting and all of that. And what you're going to end up doing with the batting is cut your batting a 1/4. Okay, this is what you would have. This is your outside edge of your border. Your backing, you'll cut even with this. But then you'll lift this back and trim your batting a careful 1/4 of an inch. Because you're going to fold down a 1/4 of an inch on this. You're going to fold down, tuck in a 1/4 of an inch of your backing. Then you put the two pieces together. Pretend they're like this. You put them together, and then you do an invisible slip stitch all along the edge. It's also called a knife edge, okay? Because it's as if you took a knife and cut in there, and that's called a knife edge hem. And you can't really see, it becomes like invisible. So whatever quilting you have will show. But this is how I like to finish my artwork, because it is artwork. So, and I think that'll give, let me now move the camera back up, show you from a little bit of a distance. And this is what I do. You can do whatever makes you happy. But See how I like to do this? So I want it to have the look of framed artwork. Okay? And if you look over on the wall, that is what I have done with my other art quilts. Now, I haven't done it yet with the gate quilt because I haven't finished that. But my flamingos, my beach scene, even these two others had a very crisp finished edge. And if I spend all the time to work on this, then I want to do it justice by what I put around it. And see, to me, that's, and I like the colors now. I didn't know whether I wanted black or brown. Be nice if I didn't have it upside down. There we go. But I think that that's a smart looking edge. And I thought, use a dark, dark brown that's reminiscent of the tree trunks in it. So what do you think? Does that, now you know how I like to do it. But you feel free to do it whatever way you want. So I still have to finish all my thread painting. And then I need to use my Inktense paints, and then I will put it on my long arm quilt machine and I will quilt it. And I do all the thread painting before you put the three pieces together, okay? Oh, wait till you see Charlene. Both Charlene sent me some good things we'll have pictures of soon. But I do all the thread painting. If I were to embellish this with any kind of buttons or metal charms or anything, I wouldn't put those on until after it's fully done, quilted, done. Because you can't run into that with your sewing machine. But I will do thread painting. Then I'm going to kind of tuck a couple areas. I'm going to do some outlining to give some of the images a little sharpness, but I want to make sure it doesn't look cartoonish. I want it to stay as real looking as possible, okay? So I do all the thread painting before I add the batting because you don't want to see all that thread painting on the back. But now, if you're ever going to enter something like this into a quilt show, you have to have it quilted. It has to be 3 layers quilted together. Those are the rules. It could be flannel. It could be, oh, I'm sorry. Hi, sweetie. Has to be flannel. It has to be polyester or cotton or wool or bamboo batting. So you have to have all 3 layers. The knife edge finish is not going to affect it negatively at all because they'll understand that that's how you finished. And actually, I think it's pretty classy as long as you do it very straight and you try to make those stitches as invisible as possible. And when you're trimming back the batting to 1/4 inch shorter than the outside raw edge of the fabric, do it very carefully because when they're judging quilt shows, they want to see that the batting goes all the way to the edge of the quilt. And if you have binding, they want the binding to be evenly full of batting. No lumps and bumps and no empty places in your binding. So if you've cut your batting a little short, grab some little snips and put in there as you're putting on your binding. Make sure it's even and filled, okay? So there we go. So I will show you more of this coming up week because I'm going to make sure that I finish that quilt because I am very much in love with it. Maybe I'll enter it in a show or maybe I'll just love it to pieces. But I want to thank y'all for inspiring me because this has been a very good learning experience for me. And anytime I can practice and learn new skills, that's a good thing. Well, we're going to get ready to look at our new project. I've already got mine going, but I want to see who's here first. Hi, Linda McCollum, hon. Oh, you tried to get on the Jitsi and forgot how. What you do is you go to our group and you'll see Bonnie or Susan will have an email saying our Jitsi, or we're meeting, and you look in the body of that message on our group site. You have to actually go to the site, and then you click on the link, and it'll open up in your cell phone, laptop, tablet, and then you click on join the meeting. And then once you get there, they know you get there, they'll help you if you have a problem with sound or picture, okay? So, all right. Oh, hello, Janice Barrera. Nice to see you, Barrera. All right, let's see all who's here, because I've been talking. All right, here we go. Oh, yes, Vicky, you inspired me. Thank you, Vicky. But, coming on here, thinking of projects to do, and then wanting to do it the best possible to show you a good example, it has really kept me on my toes, and I love it. All right, let's see. Polly was the first person here. And Polly, I do want to sew with you again. Let me just get past this real busy time. Charlene Lawson, Jody's here. Charlene Pfeiffer. Am I saying it right, Pfeiffer or Piper? I'm not sure which way you like it better. I looked at the PH and thought that should sound like an F, but I don't know. Okay, Barbara Smith, very welcome to our group. Betty Middleton. And then Vicki Robles, so good to see you. Patricia from Nova Scotia is here. And Charlene Lawson, Linda McCallum, love our Linda McCallum. And Janice Barrera, that is very good to see you here. And Cheryl's here. Oh, gosh, it's so good to see all of you. Tina Smith, hello, Tina Smith. Man, Smoky Mountains, they're not far away at all. I can travel there in just a few hours because I'm in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, or as I like to say, Mayberry, all grown up and sophisticated. So it is so good to see you, Miss Tina Smith. All right. And Pat from Myrtle Beach is here. Pat, I can't wait to come to Myrtle Beach in January. I'm hoping they'll have everyone. Make sure everyone's vaccinated, but all right. Are we ready? So now I'm going to put the rest of my binding away because I'm so excited about the H is silent. It's Piper. Well, there we go. All right. I was wrong. Thank you for telling me, sweetie. Y'all all mean so much to me. It's important for me to get your names right because the fact that you'll spend time with me each week means the world to me. So, okay. Let me bring my stuff over here. And people have been asking, how are you going, especially with what I'm calling a live edge, how am I going to bind that? Good question. So what I'm thinking, I found something that I thought you might like to see, which is a cool idea for this. And I found this, hold on, Machine Quilting Unlimited from 2015. But do you see this? And do you see that nice live edge in the bottom? And her live edge is just the water. And I love it because it really gives the feeling of churned up water. But I also love, it's got a dramatic sky. The tree is barely hanging on a little bit of land. And then she has the water. The three basic elements, okay? But if you look at this quilt, the only way I can figure out that she bound that is pillowcase method or the turning under the front and the back and slip stitching it together. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Oh, poor Tennessee has had a terrible problem with flooding. Parts of Tennessee got 17 inches of rain in one day or 1 week. I mean, that's a huge amount of rain. So we worry and we're very concerned because they had people missing and dead, and oh, I'm so sorry. But anyway, I just thought I would show you this again. Let me see if it says who made it. It's called Sacred Waters, Vicky Pignatelli. I've heard that name. And the actual quilt is 72 by 73 inches. That's a big quilt. So anyway, Vicky Pignatelli, our hats are off. It is exquisite, and it's perfect for what we're thinking of doing. Okay? All right. So I'm thinking when I finish this, that if I say pillowcase finish on it, it means you're going to put, now how are you going to quilt it? That's the good question. I think you would have to have the batting, the top with the pretty side facing up, the backing with the pretty side facing down on top of the pretty side of the top. Then you would stitch around all of your little squiggles and lines, come up the side, leave the top if you're just going to have a squared off top, leave that open, turn it all inside out. Okay, that way you've gotten the batting in the stitching. And then take a paper folder. Do not use a ink pen, or use a paper folder, or use a blunt wooden skewer or chopstick, something that will not pierce through any little curves. And I think then you would have to gently turn all of the curves out and give them a nice fresh press. And then I would turn under the top, slip stitch it together, give that a good press, and then quilt it. But that's the only way. You can't quilt it and then turn it inside out. So that's it's a tricky thing. Now you can quilt it and then do my little thing of tucking in the backing and the front, the top edges, and slip stitch them invisibly together. So that's another option. And someone wrote and said, how will we bind this? I said, let me check into that. So I went and looked, and there's different things. The pillowcase, there's the putting the binding on. If you're not going to enter it in the show, I love that Miss Jody early on used yarn and stuff and couched it down on the edge. And that was really cool. So you can just use your imagination, because for when we all look at it, we just care about your creativity. We don't care about the fine details. All right. But I like you to know, if you're going to show it, this is what you need to do, because I don't want you to ever spend time with something and then all of a sudden realize, well, now what can I do with it? So I'd like you to know all the options. All right. Is there a particular name for a live edge? No, because I just named it that, because I kept thinking about when they take a log and they leave the bark edge exposed, and I thought, live edge works for me. But I don't know. Does anyone out there know if it's got a, let me see. Let me see if the article about this. No, it doesn't say anything that I'm seeing. But I love it. I love that where the quilt just continues out. I've always loved quilts where, like, if you're doing sunflowers, the leaves extend over the edge. I like that sense of humor. And so you looked online for examples and can't find any. Well, I tell you what, I will scan this in and send you it in an email. All right. Now, any of you who belong to our groups IO, I've put 4 patterns on the group's IO site. Now, this is not going to show up that good, but I drew these. This one has a tree near the edge where you could make it live edge. This has an evergreen over there to give you a different kind of shape. And on the website, on our group's IO, I have each of the 4 patterns, and I have the color picture that gave me the inspiration so that you could use that if you wish. Here is the one with the stormy sky and the lighthouse right on the edge of the ocean. And then the last one for you out west people, there is a saguaro cactus and a barren western landscape, orange sky. So when I scanned these in, I made them darker so you'd have no trouble seeing them. And let me real quickly. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, well, I tell you what, Mark, this week, I'll go ahead and tell you, this week, Jeannie and I did our own little jitsi on Wednesday morning. And Mark said, now, you know what? What if you did a regular, pick somebody, name from a hat, and so just with them in a jitsi setting where you just sit and chat and talk and get to know each other. So I don't know if that's something I would do it Wednesday about 11 a.m. Eastern time. So it'd probably be for the women who work from home or are retired. But if it's something you think you might like, I can take some Wednesdays and do some sewing with you. And that way you can ask me questions and, kind of I can get to know you and you can get to know me better. Alexis is here. Wonderful. So anyway, our time, not capitals, Deb. Our time, I still didn't take it off. Okay. Our time to quilt. Come on, Deb. At twc.com. If you would like your own copies, and if you want all of them, I'll send you all of them. I just pop them on an email and send them to you. They're PDF files. So as long as you can open it Adobe or PDF, you've got them. And I will also send you the inspiration photos so that you can then know what kind of color fabrics to get. But just send me an email at ourtimetoquilt@twc.com, and I will be glad to send you out the patterns. All right. So here is a little hint at what mine is going to be. Okay. And since we're only doing tonight and next Thursday, and then we're going to take a break for several weeks so that I can kind of regroup myself, because my candle's been burning at both ends and it's getting hot. All right, here is my background. Remember I said do something dramatic with the sky or the background. That's a lot of binding. Yes, it is. So here is my background. And I used ombre fabrics and cut them into widths so that I could go from blue down to a beautiful sunset, sunrise, you call it what you want, and then a little touch of green. And this, since my roots are going to be exposed and that's where I'm doing my live edge, I thought I would show the ground giving away. And this sky is so easy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of fabric that I put in there. And see how I told you, make it very simple, dramatic, but simple. And I probably won't do any thread painting. I'll probably just quilt this one. I haven't decided yet. But I want to get this done by next Thursday night. And then that way, If you have any questions about it, Linda Ramos, so good to see you, honey. All right, so now here's my background. Was that easy or what? It was just some pieces that I cut out and glued down. Easy, easy peasy, okay? So let me get my camera, show you what else I've got. All right. I told myself, make sure to get this done because, let me get my inspiration drawing up here, and I made sure to outline it so you could see it good. And, all right, I've even drawn where I'm going to put the tree. I've given myself a few little guidelines. So here I go. And I was thinking I was going to do a light gray root, but when I looked up pictures for roots, they pretty much were the same color as the tree. All right. So now with this, since I want it to stay, I've already kind of laid it out. I'm using the tacky glue, so when I put it down, it's down. So here is my tree, and I will show you where I got the idea for this tree. And see how it's kind of leaning? Because its roots are all exposed. This is the background where the roots looking back into the roots. And so, yep, we love this group. Y'all are wonderful. So, here are going to be, this is all cut from one piece of fabric. What I did is I used a light box. If you don't have a light box, then just go put it on a window. But I put my fabric, put it on a light box, drew it on the fabric, and I went ahead and drew it with a permanent pen so I could really see it. Then when I took the rectangle of fabric, I took it upstairs while I was watching TV and cut it out. And I love it. It's just one piece because remember I told you, simple, easy peasy. All right. So to put this down, I wish that I had already ironed some fusible on it and then cut it out because it would just need to be fused down. But I didn't think of that until after I cut it out. And by that point, I said, too late. So now I'm just going to go along and carefully dot glue. Now, I want it to stay down because I'm not, like I said, I don't think I'm going to do much thread painting on this. And, you know, if you just use like a school glue, it's not going to want to stay down all that good. So I'm going along, dotting. And believe it or not, someone's already sent me in their 3-part exercise. So when we show you photos tonight, I'll be able to show you those. So this gets tricky to do all these little roots. And these are supposed to be all exposed due to the hill giving way and the weathering. And that's why the tree's leaning, because it has seen better days. But I am enjoying it because of the interest it's going to give. And then I've got to figure out how do I cut my live edge around these roots. Because however I cut it out, I've got to be ready to fold it under and stitch it together. And I'm only going to do but so much of that. I'm not going to drive myself nuts over this. All right, let's see. So by next week, I'll have it all finished and bound so that you can see exactly how that live edge worked. Okay. So here I go, carefully placing them down. And see how the dark fabric kind of looks like it gives it a sense of depth. But there are a few places, like here, where I want to cut most of that out because I don't want just a straight edge of it. It's supposed to be the earth that's in the shadows. So I'll just go along here and trim it out so that it's a lot less obvious. But I thought, how can I make it dark where the roots are? And I said, just put a piece of fabric and lay the roots in front of it. So there's just a few little places I have to give it a little bit of a trim. And then I'll show you to see what you think. But I think it's pretty easy. And I'm going to like this. This is a wonderful little thing. This doesn't take that long. And you can make this as a gift or a little seasonal thing to decorate your house with. Pardon me for reaching over here. But, okay, so now I've come along in here and I've tried to trim the dark brown fabric so that it doesn't just look, oh, she just kind of cut a piece and stuck it there. I want it to kind of go along with the roots, okay? And see how I cut it in a shape so it would lay behind these. Okay. All right. So I haven't figured out yet how I am going to cut my bottom edge. What I'm going to do next is get my branches put on. So here's the fabric where I was cutting out the roots. That's part of the edge still. I keep that in case I need it. But I've already cut out a whole bunch of branches. And now I just have to just find where they go and how I'm going to put them on. So I'm going to lay them so I can kind of see them. And I've got my drawing here right in front of me. All right, let's see. All right, this, I was hoping, okay, this one I think, yep, this one goes up near the top. So I'm going to come and carefully do a little drip, drip, drip of the glue and put this up here. Okay, so there's the first branch. Let me get some of these. Oh, this is a nice big two-piece one. I know where this, whoops, no, I'm not sure. Where does this, up here, I think. Okay, let me see. Oh, nope, goes right down here. Okay. Y'all can probably see some of this faster than I can. And I just drew them. I drew them on there, and then I just cut them out by hand. I said, don't make it hard, Deb. All right. So there's that one. And then, and here's a big one. And it's going up this way. Oh, this one goes right here. Okay. So drop, drop, drop. Okay. I'll put this here. This one kind of comes across the front. You like the roots? They are fun. Okay, this right here comes about this far up. And I'll show you the tree that was my inspiration. I used sky from one thing and tree from another thing. All right. This comes up here. Now, once you put them down with the tacky glue, they're not going to come up. So make sure you got it where you want it. Okay. This one comes right here, I do believe. I didn't want to already have it done because that's not neat. And then I just show it to you and you go, oh, okay. But I'm hoping this is not too boring, you watching me do this. All right. So that one goes there. Then it's supposed to have, yes, oops. It's supposed to have, oops, let me see. Oop, take it off real fast. I think I had them in the wrong position. So, doop, doop, doop. All right. This one I think is the bigger one. Oh, this one's supposed to be it. Oh, might be too late to pull this one up. Let me see. Don't pull near the very tip edge. When you come to the very tip edge of fabric, it becomes very delicate. And this one goes right down here. Oops, let me go up a little. This one goes right here. Then, where's that big one? Okay, let me put some touches more glue. All right, so now I'm going to put this one here. Yeah, that's much better. Then the other two-piece one comes down here. Okay, let me put a little bit more glue. This is honestly so easy. Anybody can do this. So easy. Okay. All right. Oops. Let me put a little bit more glue on there. All right. Let me get this up a little bit higher. All right. There we go. And feel free to pat it with your iron so that you can make it all stick good. All right, now let's see. Here is a big branch right here, and by the shape of it, I think it's this one that comes up this way. Let me see. Or is this one this one? But I didn't mark them or anything. I just cut them and said, just put them where you think it should go and don't worry about it. Because this is for fun. This is just for fun. All right, I'm supposed to have here's the chubby one that goes. Whoops. Don't put too much glue. It'll be hard to sew through. All right. This goes right here. This one. Let me see. I'm not sure where this one goes, so I'll wait on that one. Then I've got some of these little ones that go up top here. Normally trees have branches that are smaller at the top and get longer as they go down. Okay, this one's here. And some of these are very, very tiny. Okay. All right, I might not put all these on because I think you might get terribly bored, but I'm just trying to show you how easy it is to do one of these. I hope y'all are having a good week this week. Okay. And then I need one more curved piece. Comes down off of this one. Okay, let's see. I think I need a little one down off of there. Okay. All right, let me see. I think I've got most of them done. Oops, I need a little bit up here. But you kind of get the idea of how I'm doing these. And this is a sweet tree that has seen better days. And we all know what that's like. Okay. All right, let me make sure my iron is warmed up so I can come in here. And then, soon as I finish this, we are going to go see the pictures you have sent me because I've got some new ones I'm so excited about. And can't wait to show off your wonderful, wonderful work. Okay, put this one here. All right. Woo. Oh, here were two more. Okay. This one is... Make sure when you've got a bunch of cut pieces, make sure that you shake your fabric so that you can see if you've missed one. Because I kind of picked that up to shake it, and that's when I realized, oops, here this one is. All right, so let me see. I want to do something with it. All right, so I'll stick this one right up here. All right. Let me put a little touch of glue under that. All right. Let me press this down real quickly. And I can always add more branches if I want. Let me press down the roots. You can smell the glue. I think what I'm going to do is this. I think I'm going to kind of come in here and kind of follow gently, loosely around these roots. I'm not going to get too carried away because I've got to remember, I've got to finish the edge of this. Like, I'm not sure about going up in here very far. And I want to leave some brown around the root. Pardon me, all of a sudden I have hiccups. Okay, let's see. We used to say if you had hiccups when you were growing up, that meant you were growing. But I certainly hope that I have finished that. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do kind of a nice soft edge like this. And come up in here. And, I could always leave, like I could have this, a root kind of hanging down there all by itself. That might be kind of fun to do. It'll be a little tricky to try to finish that edge, but that might be a little fun. So I'm going to kind of trim up in here a little bit and see what that's going to be like. But this gives it interest because everyone always thinks of quilts as being square or rectangular. And I thought this would be fun to kind of shake it up a little bit, to loosen things up and go with the flow. That's one thing I love about art quilts. There are no rules. It's really expressing yourself with fiber, and it's whatever you want to do. So some of this, it's going to be tricky to figure out how to finish it, but I'll figure out something. I'm not too worried. I mean, if I just did a nice kind of a satiny stitch to hold it down, that would work too. Because you know what? Remember, this is my quilt. I get to do what I want with this. So now, let's see. I think I'll so let's see how this looks. There we go. What do you think? Oh, it's Cheryl Lemon is here. It's so good to see you, sweetheart. So, and you know what? I think I might go a little touch further up here. We have missed our Cheryl Lemon. I'm hoping her sunshine will come back to her, and because we really miss her. And when the weather gets nice, I want to go up and see her when it's not so hot. But anyway, so what do you think? Do you think that'll be kind of, oh, hi, Michelle the Quilter. So there. Now, I'm not finished with it. By next week, I'll hold it up for you to see. By next week, I'll have figured out how am I going to finish the bottom of this. And, but you might not want something quite so intricate. But this was a fun exercise. It's just nice and small. Oh, who's having migraines? I'm so sorry for whoever's having those. But I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Okay? All right. So I'm going to put that aside now so we can go see what you are doing. Because that's the fun part for me. And I love seeing what you have been doing. All right. Let me turn off this light too so we can see the pictures good. All right. My son asked me the other day, oh, thank you, Cheryl. This was going to be a real easy one. My son asked the other day, well, have you learned how to do the OBS system? No, sorry, I haven't. I mean to, but I haven't had time to. Isn't that cool how that goes? Oh, look at how many fingers. Oh, my gosh, look at that. Okay, stop playing, Deb. You're pretty happy? Alexis, wonderful, hon. Oh, Cheryl's having a thunderstorm there. Oh, Cheryl, while I go to the photos, I'm going to be in Galax, Virginia, and I'm going to be judging a quilt contest for the Galax Art Guild. And so September 11th, I will be there. And I don't know how far that is from you. It might just be too far, because I think Galax is just inside, just above the North Carolina-Virginia border. So, all right. Well, guess what we've got? I smiled so big, Alexis, when I saw this on the site today. I love it. And those looks like a long chain, a long circle of gold glass beads. It's beautiful. But I wanted to ask you all, I really think that her embroidery has gotten very sophisticated. We have been watching her now for 2 years? I am so impressed. So I just wanted to give that shout out to Miss Alexis, because I really do like all that she's putting into her work. Beautiful job. And this one is called, oh gosh, I made a joke about it on thing. Let me see. What was that joke? Oh, poo. Well, Alexis, you can tell them the name of it because my old pea brain just kind of went on the blink. But I do love this. All right, let's see who else we have. Got to show Miss B's anniversary card that she made for her husband for their 40th anniversary. And her nickname is B, B-E-E. Love that. Love it. Okay, and Miss B's having a terrible problem with sciatica. We hope she feels better soon and can come back to us. We miss her very much. And then here are Betty Middleton's kitty and puppy on a wonderful Hunter Star quilt. Love the colors. And here is her Misty Woodland quilt in progress. I love it. And then here it is further along, just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And look at this wonderful undersea quilt. And it has the beautiful crystals on it like they were bubbles. And then shells and a seahorse and embroidery and rickrack. I mean, just beautiful stuff. Wonderful job, Miss Betty. I love all of your artwork. Okay. Now let me see. We'll go over here to Miss Charlene, who, Miss Charlene Lawson is working on the Ricky Tim's Kaleidoscope quilt as well. Gosh, that was fun. I don't know when I'll have time to do another one, but boy, that was fun. Then she said, okay, I'm going to also do this 3-part challenge. And look at this, guys. I'm so impressed. Now, if you think that's pretty good, here it is, another step further. Love it, love it, love it. Isn't that fun? And the railings are so cool. And it's just simple. She didn't get carried away. There are some different strips of fabric in her sky. She's got some fabric here to look like beach grass. Then the stock, it is wonderful. Way to go. Way to go. All right. And then, luckily, I checked my email before I came on here and found that Miss Charlene Piper has been working on the Misty Woodland quilt. And she's added beautiful little deer. Oh, my gosh. And then look at blue jays, flowers, little crows or little birds, starlings. I mean, this is wonderful. I love it. You don't know how happy it makes me when I see you take a subject and you run with it and you turn it into your own. That is fabulous. And she did a good job with changing fabric to make it look further away and in that pool of light. I absolutely love it. Way to go. Now let's see. She's got 2 more. Oops, let me turn this one. There it is. There's another one of that. And I love how sharp the birds are and colorful. And the deer are in that hazy. So they're just nice and simple. How fabulous is that? Way to go. And then there's one more. Look at this. I'm very impressed. Way to go, Miss Charlene Piper. I love it. I love it. I love the differing colors, everything. So beautiful work. I hope you will finish that and hang it up and enjoy it. Beautiful. Okay. Now, let's see. Oh, got to show. I know this is not an art quilt, but he is a work of art. And this is my grandson, Donato Herrera Johnson. And there's my son, Christopher, and his youngest, Donnie, on his first birthday. Boy, time flies. Look at this. Aw. So happy birthday, Mr. Whoops. Now, goodness gracious, what is going on here? Hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh, okay, here we go. Thank you for putting up with me showing that grandbaby. All right, let's see. Miss Dolores had some wonderful art quilts. I love her work. You know, she goes to art fairs and she sells these. Whoops, I did it again. Okay, first one, second one, and this one. And I love the dragonfly down here. Isn't that cool? I love it. So I'm hoping she is having an easy time preparing for her next art fair. Now, goodness, we all know she has a new member in her family, Miss Wanda, who is beautiful, let me tell you. And then we know we loved Creature from the Black Lagoon. But look at this. If that doesn't just reach out and grab your heart, I mean it. Whoops, wait a minute, go back down. I can't keep my finger still. But look at that. That makes you just gasp a little when you first see it. Isn't that amazing? So, love Miss Jody's work. She's amazing. And here are some of the others she has done before this one. And they're all amazing. Very talented. All right, let's see who else is next. Linda McCollum. I love all of her stuff. And pay attention to her work because some people say, well, I don't have time, or I don't have that much fabric, or I can't think of what to do. Look at these things. Look at all the ideas, little bits and bobs and leftover things. And look at the art she creates from it. So, and here is her latest thing, felted mice. How cute are they? And look at these little things. Aren't they special? So, you know, and it's how nice to have gifts to hand out for people that you see. People that might do a kindness for you. So let me see. Do have a new thing from Miss Lisa, from Lisa and Kevin. She had a t-shirt that kind of had an ugly statement on it, and she didn't want to throw it away, so she embellished it. And now she's got something cute and happy and fun and funky. So if you ever have a t-shirt, you don't like what it says, cover it up. That is a great way to use it. And then it just becomes something very bohemian and exotic. Now, look at this is Monkey Mary. Oh my gosh, is this the cutest kitty quilt? And she said she cut each of the leaves of the background. This is just a block on a quilt. She cut each of these leaves out by hand. Way to go, Miss Mary. Love, love, love it. All right, let's see what else we have. Melanie, yeah, okay, that's a regular quilt. We're sticking tonight. We're going to stick with art quilt. Got to show Miss Nadine's. I think Miss Nadine gets the Best New Artist Award for stamping and colorizing. I mean, just beautiful. This is made for, I think it's a coworker's new baby. Beautiful. Boy, I tell you what, I watched the House Hunters International, and they were going to Germany, and it made me want to go see my Miss Nadine. But look at this wonderful one. Isn't that great? And she does this all on her own. The coloring, the statements, all the stamping, the embellishing, the painting. So talented. We love our Nadine. All right, let's see who else we have. I think Patricia just had your studio, which I love, but I'm trying to show some art things. Okay, what else? Polly. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so Miss Polly had a very, I love it. I She found her inspiration, then she started working on her ideas. She had one thing, then nope, she wanted to change it. She wanted to do it again. I love this. She knew what she wanted in her mind, and she didn't stop until she got it. And I think the very narrow binding is a great idea. And I like how it's this color. So it's subtle and it doesn't take away or take attention away from her beautiful work. Way to go. And she even emphasized the sun rays with her quilting. And look how discreet behind the sheer fabric that is. Love, love, love it. Way to go, Miss Polly. All right. Who else? Let me see. All right, probably the last time I'll be showing this one, but it is a cutie, and it's Teresa Louise I Love to Quilt and her wonderful doggy collage. So there we go. Now, hopefully I got everything that you sent to me. If not, I apologize. Send it again, and I'll make sure, because I love showing the work you do. I just love it, and I love that you are taking that time and you want to share. Let me come back to you because right now I can't see you, so I've just got the pictures up. There you are. All righty. So how is everyone here? Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions at all? Aren't those wonderful pictures? I love the show and tell we have. Because, and I've got a surprise to show you. When I had my Wednesday morning with Jeannie, she showed me something she's working on, and I said, I have something very similar with a surprise to it that I'll show you on Sunday. Okay? Also, we're going to have a block of the week. Block of the week. Do I hear you moaning and saying, no, I'm too busy, whatever? Well, what if I told you, if you participate in this, you'll have a brand new quilt wall hanging for Christmas? I think you could do it. So we will see what that's about on Sunday also. Becky Bostick, hi, sweetie. Are you going to be at the retreat? I was thinking I wasn't going to be able to go to the retreat because, I'm sorry, I am down to one kidney and I couldn't take a chance. I've been fully vaccinated, but I couldn't take a chance on a breakthrough infection. Found out they're going to make it vaccinated only. Yes. So I think I'll still be able to go to my retreat. So I'm hoping Miss Becky is going to be at the retreat too, hon. I hope so. So Miss Becky, I'll show you. This is something we've just been working on. We're almost done with it. And it's called a Misty Woodland Quilt. And we've got some nice challengers who've done a beautiful job on it. So, but it's so nice to see Miss Becky Bostick. She's such a sweetie. I just love seeing her. All right. Let me see. I think I've covered everything. Can you think of anything else? So, but I'm hoping, Becky, you haven't said whether you're coming to the retreat. I hope you are, darling. I would love to spend some time with my Becky. So, good. Yes, for block of the week. Yay. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick unusual colors for it. And it's just one block a week. And then way before Christmas, you'll have a floppy, and you can either hang it up like a floppy, or if you have a Wanda, like Miss, I hope that was right, Wanda. If you have one of those like Miss Jody now has, you can get it done. You could do the block of the week. Yay! Because you know what? How do you eat an elephant or a whale? One bite at a time. Well, first thing, you don't really eat an elephant or whale. I don't want to offend anybody, but How do you do it? One bite at a time. We can do one block a week. So, and I will have it made ahead so you can see what you think of it. Oh, great. I would love anybody that wants to participate. Oh, the quilt in the background, Cheryl Lemon. I did the Ricky Tim's Cool Kaleidoscope challenge or whatever that he just recently had. And so now I have had a real busy time trying to use my scraps to get the borders done so I can put this puppy on the frame and get it quilted. Oh, I'm sorry, Vicki Robles. You told me that one of your kidneys is having trouble. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know if Miss Becky knew, but I had a big cancerous tumor on my right kidney that I only found out because I had a kidney stone last August, and my doctor said, let's just see what that's about. Sure enough, I tell you what, thank goodness, because I had to lose the whole kidney because it was a big tumor, but it was localized. I'm fine. So I'm ready to come to a retreat and have some fun. All right, everybody. I have had, Becky Bostic is so much fun. She's a real sweetie, real pretty lady, and a lot of fun. So, all right, guys. I think this is a good one. Also, if you are interested in doing, the retreat won't be till November. So let's cross our fingers. Vaccination rates are going up. Come on, please get your vaccinations. I promise you, it's so worth it. But where was I going with this? I've forgotten. But be working on your three-part exercises. Nice, simple, fun, easy, and this will be done by next week. So those are the kind of projects I enjoy. And if you can think of a better name than Live Edge, let me know. All right, guys, it was wonderful seeing you. Sorry we ran on a little late, but Vicki Robles, now, we kept you occupied just a little bit longer. Take good care, everybody. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Mwah. Bye-bye, everybody. Take good care. Thank you, Miss Linda. Thank you, Linda, again, for being our moderator this week. Bye-bye, everybody. You're welcome, Miss Linda Ramos. Love to see you. Take care.